Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy day before what? Thanksgiving Eve, right? It's Thanksgiving Eve today. Today we're going to talk about what if I fail and everyone notices. And so many of you are probably feeling secretly the exact same way how I felt, right? When I first started an online business and I started to get around other leaders, other people that had more success, I started to shrink really low, right? I didn't want to really come out and I didn't want to say anything and didn't want to do anything, but I didn't want to admit that I wasn't going to do it. And I also wasn't going to admit that I didn't do any of the reach outs. And I wasn't going to admit that I really had a hard time getting myself going. And I had a bunch of excuses. And what actually was happening was I was afraid that I was going to fail. And everyone says, see, I told you so. Because, see, the wound of I told you so, the wound of letting people down was so painful to me that I did not want to even attempt it. See, and that is where the comfort zone is, right? I kind of knew I could do it, but I didn't really want to attempt the failure. And it was easy for me to say, oh, yeah, I don't have a fear of failure. I'm okay. I'm bold. I can do this. I can do all the things. But actually doing it and then having other people recognize the fact that I couldn't do it, it was so painful that I didn't even attempt it, right? And what happened is that when I was younger, and I'm telling you my story, so I want you to reflect on your story. I want you to reflect on the people that you had in your environment. When I was younger, I was so full of creativity. I was so full of spunk. I was so full of ideas and I wanted to do things. These ideas didn't fit into the plan of my family. My family was busy. We had a lot of stuff going on. And none of my crazy ideas, entrepreneurial ideas that I had as a child, were convenient, so to speak, in that moment, right? So what happened was my parents would shut me down, shut me down, shut me down, not because they didn't support me, not because they didn't love me, not because, they didn't think I could do it. None of that was the truth, but they shut me down because it wasn't convenient to their schedule, to their ways of doing things. Now, this is how easy a childhood wound can actually be implemented. The thought, I'm not meant to do this, or maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm inconvenient, or I am fill in the blank, what is it for you, can be made as simple as like those small little rejections. And see, I feel like when I talk about trauma, sometimes we are thinking that the trauma needs to be something mind-blowing, like you've been beaten to death or raped or anything bad, really. But that's not the only trauma that there is. These thoughts that are interrupting your progress, that are interrupting your flow, right? These little wounds that we have endured, they are going to continue to run the show in your paradigm, in your subconscious belief system until you confront them, until you say, wait a minute, was I really not good enough? If I fail, what will happen? Who will laugh at me? Why would they laugh at me? Why would they be like, we do something new, we try something new, right? And yeah, chances are we're going to fail with it. If we reach out to people, chances are we are going to fail. If we are building something that we have never built before, chances are we are going to fail. And we should start this with the attitude of wanting to fail, wanting to find the ways that don't make us successful, because that's like lessons, right? I mean, how many light bulbs were there? Like, how many attempts to develop the light bulb was happening before we even had the light bulb, right? I mean, there's just so many failures that are happening, but the people that are winning, that are succeeding, are the ones that are actually continuing. They are not afraid of the failure because they either don't have this wound of being shut down all the time for their crazy ideas, or they are someone that just has already reworked it in their brain and in their subconscious, right? So in this case, I can, every single time I feel this resistance, I am cued that there's a subconscious thought that I am not aware of. Maybe it's a conscious thought for you, but for me, a lot of the things were subconscious because I was sitting, I was trying to figure out, why am I confident in every other action, but I am not confident in actually taking, or I'm actually not doing the work. Why am I not doing the work? And I could not figure it out. Well, now I know, and I'm sharing this with you so you can know about yourself. If you are not doing the work, if you figure like you're not really a procrastination type, you're not really an overwhelm type, but you're still not doing the work, there could be a subconscious belief that what if I fail and everyone notices, and that could be very painful, right? Maybe that is a subconscious thought that you have, that you will then be rejected. Their love for you, their approval for you will be taken away, and that would be really awful for you. Because maybe when you were rejected in the past, you just didn't feel accepted, right? Like that was for me. Like I learned from a young age that my spunkiness and creativity and my big energy, as everybody was talking about, needed to be made small because I was inconvenient. I was like, my ideas were not convenient. And I can catch myself. I see, I can reparent myself now looking at my children, right? I have one child, my middle daughter. She is such an entrepreneur. She's an entrepreneur at heart. I mean, and see, these things are natural in children. Some children have it naturally. The moment she gets an idea, she gets all creative and she goes into her room and she does all these things and comes out with a plan, and she's basically made her business plan and all that stuff. And yes, you know, when you're trying to clean up and you're having the holidays happening, it's not very convenient when you have gazillion different beads that she now uses to make bracelets all over the carpet, right? I mean, it's not very convenient. And have you ever stepped on a Lego? You know what that feels like. But see, this is the exact example. Depending on how I, as a parent, am now reacting to her drive, that could make it or break it for her in the future. And yes, I don't know if you feel that pressure. I always feel the pressure to be the better parent, right, when it comes to my children. But I'm explaining this to you to recognize what could have happened to you and why you are maybe not taking action in your business. Maybe that is one of the reasons why in marketing you're not showing up, in content creation you're not showing up. Maybe that is one of the reasons why you are not asking the question to people to see if they want to take a look at your business. Maybe that is a reason why you are not reaching out and starting the conversation. See, if you don't have conversations going, you really don't have a business. That is the thing. So it's kind of a really big deal to deal with this mindset issue, with this trauma, and reheal that hurt that you felt as a child. See, sometimes when I talk about inner child healing, people think that it has nothing to do with business, but it has everything to do with business. Because if you are feeling hurt inside, you are not showing up in your business as confident, you are not able to take the rejection, you are likely going to feel overwhelmed, you are likely not holding the line, holding your boundary when it comes to your sales conversations, you are likely avoiding the very uncomfortable situations, right? You're avoiding that because you're afraid that somebody's going to reject you, and you've got to work through this. You've got to work through these feelings, and you've got to be able to reframe very quickly your mindset, because you got to master it, right? Because you are going to get this. There's going to be people that are making hate comments on your social media. When you show up, when you are more out there, when you are trying to have conversations, when you are, in sales conversations of any kind, people are going to challenge you. People are going to try to knock you, and you're going to need to be able to hold the line. And the way how you hold the line is by confidence, being really clear on your mission, on your vision, on your convictions, on your strength, on your weaknesses, what you can do, what you can't do, what you're bringing to the table, what you don't bringing to the table. You have to be very, very clear. And if you're afraid, subconsciously afraid that you're not good enough, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to show up. Okay, you won't. And you will find excuses, and you will have maybe laundry to do, or maybe you have the holidays to do, or you have, like, you will find other things that are going to prevent you from the work that you need to be doing. So heal that part, okay? Get to the root of it. Figure out what am I really thinking? Why am I thinking this? Where's it coming from? And what would I like to heal or feel like instead? Okay. If you need help, again, remember, Freedom Mentorship, it's only $27 because, not because it's a cheap deal, it's because I want you to win. Okay. I struggled through this so many years alone, and I don't want you to have to struggle. Okay. We all can use more money. We all can use more resources. Life is hard right now for a lot of people, and online entrepreneurship is the way to go, you guys. There is ways to make money. There's a lot of money in the world. Okay. It's not that there's no money, but we got to have skills. So I got to get going, and I'll hope that you all are going to have a blessed Thanksgiving. I will see you all tomorrow. Maybe, if I can make it. If I can't make it, if I'm going to take the day off, I'm going to take the day off, you guys, okay? But I will try. I will try to be there for our life. So, happy Thanksgiving, guys.